Sharing one aviation fact every day until I become a pilot. Day 28. Yesterday I talked about stall. Today I'll tell you two accidents related to it. First one is Air France flight 447. This was an A330 heading to Paris. It lost altitude over the Atlantic Ocean. At that moment there was a severe turbulence. When they entered this turbulence, pitot tubes measures that aircraft speeds froze due to ice crystals. Because of this, the airspeed indicators showed incorrect readings. As a result, the autopilot disengaged. When the autopilot disconnected, the co-pilot took control over the plane. We don't know the exact reason, but perhaps he tried to climb up above the storm and pull nose up. But as you climb up, air density decreases. And if you try to lift a heavy aircraft even higher, there won't be enough air to generate lift. Naturally, the wings can no longer produce enough lift and the aircraft stalls. While the stall warnings were sounding in the cockpit, the first officer tried to pull the nose up. Meanwhile, the pilot in the captain's seat was trying to push the nose down. But since one was pulling up and the other was pushing down, these actions cancelled each other out, and the aircraft remained in the same altitude. If they had identified stall at that high altitude and acted accordingly, aircraft might not have crashed. Later, the captain entered the cockpit. But by the time he realized what was going on and noticed the stall warnings, it was too late. Even though he told them to push the nose down, it was already too late and the aircraft crashed. The second accident is the Turkish Airlines 1951. The Amsterdam crash. A Boeing 737 heading to Amsterdam had a faulty radio altimeter. The radio altimeter sends signals to the ground to measure the height above the ground. In this case, it was showing -8 feet. As you might guess, this made the aircraft appear as if it was already on the ground. The autothrottle system, which relies on this data, reduced the engines to idle power. Since the engines went to idle, the aircraft began to slow down and losing altitude. As the airspeed dropped to a critical level, the stall warning activated. But the pilots hadn't realized what was going on until that point. At that moment, they identified the problem and pushed the throttle to maximum to recover the aircraft. But the altitude was too low. The engines didn't have enough time to generate more thrust. And so the aircraft couldn't recover and crashed.